Okay, so let's talk about the National Broadband Network. Um, it's been an issue for many years now, and I suppose less so more recently as it's been rolling out. But the reality is that it's incredibly important because we're going to be consuming more and more data on a yearly basis. Year in, year out, our usage is going to go up almost exponentially on a yearly basis. And that just makes our information infrastructure more and more important. So even if it doesn't feel like an issue right now, and for many people it is, in the future, it's going to be a gigantic problem, even in comparison to today. Now, famously, the NBN was a concept of Stephen Conroy's, and apparently he did some early work on the back of an envelope with Kevin Rudd and sort of showed Kevin how things could be done to increase our information infrastructure with the use of a national broadband network. And one of the concepts, the main concept at the time, was for there to be fibre to the premise, and or the premises, I should say, and that's where everyone, almost everyone, would get optic fibre dedicated to their house, basically, or to their dwelling. And now that, of course, did not eventuate. We've had a sort of mixture of fibre to the node and copper wiring doing the last part of the transmission of the NBN to people's home connection. But the reality is that technology is already not just out of date, it's not sufficient for our data needs. And our data needs just continue to increase. So even though you might use a hard item like a disk to carry large amounts of data, or you can use mobile technology as well, the reality is that data is so important that you need very significant channels to carry it to you. So not just very good mobile telephony, but also hardwire telephony as well, especially at a dwelling where you might be watching a movie on the telephone and someone else on a computer. So the net result is, it looks like we need to go back to fibre to the premises for everyone at a cost of probably the better part of $50 billion. And it looks like we can't get away from this because the data consumption that we're going through is so significant that we actually need to have vastly more information carried to us, and that means a lot more infrastructure for us. So it'll be interesting to see how the government manages it, if it's just a patch here and a patch there. But ultimately, I think the reality is we need to vastly increase our data infrastructure so that either at home or on the move, we have access to that information, because information poverty really is the newest form of poverty, and it's potentially one of the highest, one of the biggest problems in poverty, data poverty. And it's something, it doesn't matter who you are or how wealthy you are, you want a constant stream of that data to you to improve your experience of whatever you're doing, whether it's you're on holiday or engaging in a hobby or engaging in work, leisure time, so on and so forth. It's the one constant almost through all of that. And with more and more new technology, forms of data that you can consume. It just means that your channels have to be broader, wider, and also multi-channels to carry that information. So it'll be interesting to see what the government does.